This is the top pivot. So this is the head of the door, or head of the door frame. I'm going to be very technically correct here. And we're going to handle this just like we handled the areas for, my goodness, I don't have enough space for all my stuff. We're going to handle it just like we did the roller latches. So I've cut another H pattern here, and we're going to bend these tabs up and then bend them down to recess this in. If you remember, this little guy right here is what sticks inside the door. So, you know, before you put the door in, this is in the up position. So this is actually upside down right now. It's the top frame of the door, right? And you lean the door in, and then you take a screwdriver and tighten this guy up. I know you can't see that, but it comes up nice and easy and until it engages in the door. So a lot of people freak out when they look at the bottom hinge of this thing, or the bottom pivot on the door that's actually in the ground, and they think, oh man, that's got to take all the weight and all the force and all of that, whatever. This is the part that does all the work. The door, when it hangs, actually pulls on this piece right here. So having this dead on the money is very, very important. The bottom one, yes, important, but this one's got to be right. All right, there is our top pivot, and it is just dead on the money as far as being centered on our marks. And again, when you turn that screw, this will engage, and we're upside down, remember. That will engage the part that goes into the door, and that's where you make all your money, is on that guy right there. Just finishing up, this is the door leaf, and this is the top side of the door leaf, and this is the piece here that joins up with our top pivot. So this is the door side of the pivot, and it sits in here flush. Up till this point, I have not built in any adjustability into the pivot. I have built in with the lags that go into the door frame, you can square the door up, but there hasn't been any left, right, up, down adjustment. So since this has to go in flush, I made a little pocket for it, and in the pocket what I did was create what I would call a captive nut. So I have a plate in here that can slide freely and accept the 3 bolts that go through this piece. So we have a pretty large amount of adjustability in here. I just noticed that I need to make sure this has enough clearance for whatever bolts go in there, so I may have to cut that off, but it has to kind of come that far. So anyway, just need to make sure the bolts all fit correctly, but this will go in here, and you can see how tight of a fit this is. So with that set in place, I'll get to welding this in, and then I have a couple end plates that I need to make, and we'll be done with all the pivots. I've got our box welded in and welded up, and just kind of doing the test fit here. That's kind of the range of motion that we have on this guy. So the important part is, you know, how far can this thing travel, and that right there is on my centering mark, so I can go about 3/4 of the width of this both right and left, and then up and down I can go quite a ways as well. So I think we've got plenty of adjustability in here. I'm just doing the final squaring before I tack the frame together. Just moments ago it looked like everything was just about perfect. So right here to the inside. Ten 16, 122 and 10/16. Again to the inside corner. 122 and 10/16. So this is easily this is within a 1/16 of square, sitting just how it is right now. So I'm very, very happy with that. And with that, I'm going to start welding. I have to go a little bit old school. I don't have any heavy wire for the MIG, and I've been using .25 or .023, whatever that is, that I use for sheet metal, and it's just not heavy enough to do these big welds. So we're going back to the stick welder, and gonna weld this up. We have our frame welded at all four corners. Got the threshold in, so yeah, it's time for a cold one. Let's see, we are standing inside now, so the door will open toward us, and we have our top hinge pivot hinge up here in the frame. This is our top door leaf member and our bottom door leaf member, all wrapped up. So next on the agenda will be to put the door leaf together and start working on all of that. And I've been out here for 10 straight hours today, and I am whipped. So that's the end of it today.